we have done a good deep dive into the theoretical concepts of Oracle Database Vault. Now it's time to do a demo on Database Vault and how you can configure Oracle Database Vault. So the steps that I will show you, you can pretty much use the same in, let's say, your on-prem database, which is running on your on-prem in your in-house data centers, or they are pretty similar in terms of if you have to run the same steps on the VMDB system, like the VMDB machine that you created in Oracle Cloud. Things are slightly different when you are doing in autonomous, and I will show you that as well, but it will be in another subsequent demo. So in this demo, we shall take a look how you can configure Oracle Database Vault. So guys, what I have done here is I have created a complete document for you guys where I would suggest that you should just follow it step by step. And it would be good if you want to perform it along with me, because everything is there, it's all documented. So it's good that if you do it step by step. So the very first step that you have to do is you have to execute the commands, and it is just verification. So we're just checking what is the status of OLS, which is Oracle Label Security, and Database Vault inside our container database. So the first command is that you need to check the status. So we are checking from DBA, DV status, Database Vault status, and we are also interested in the label security status. So let's go to our container database and try and run these commands and see what do we get. So the first thing that you get is DV app protection, which stands for the Database Vault Operations Control. It shows whether it is enabled or disabled or configured, not configured. Next is the most important bit, the Database Vault configuration status. If you see here, the configuration status is set to false. If you check the enable status, even that is set to false. Then I check for the label security. If you see label security configuration status, again, it is false, and this description is clearly given if OLS or Oracle Label Security is configured. Next one is if OID is enabled with OLS and if OLS is enabled. So it is configuration, OID with OLS and OLS. And if you see here, everything is actually set to false. And our aim is to enable these things. So let's take a look how this can be done. All you need to do is now you need to create two set of users. Guys, you might remember I told you that with Oracle Database Vault, you have to create two users. One is the DV owner, which is the Database Vault owner, and the other is the Database Vault account manager. So Database Vault owner is the guy who would be actually performing all your creation of realms, doing the command rules, factors, all this stuff would be done by the Database Vault owner. And when you're talking about the Database Vault account manager is the guy who will actually be creating new users for you. So the DBA won't be able to create new users for you anymore. So this is the Database Vault account manager who will create the user for you. And the method we are doing here is we are actually creating a new user, which is c#dv owner root and c#dv account manager root. So it is c# because we are actually creating these users inside the container database. So just simply execute this, and you'll see that these users are created, and they are actually granted the create session and set container to both these users. Great, cool. Okay, then the most important step is that you are configuring Database Vault. To configure Database Vault, Oracle has given you a package which is configure_dv. In that, you just need to specify first who is your Database Vault user or Database Vault owner and who is your account manager. So you just simply give your names here, as we have Database Vault owner root and Database Vault account manager root. Simply execute this. So all we are, so if you see, it is all good. So we have specified that this is our Database Vault owner and this is our account manager. All done. Let's move on. So next, it's very important. It's always advisable to recompile your invalid objects. So let's do that. It's a pretty simple step. And we have, as DBAs, we have been running this quite a lot of times because you're doing new configurations. Oracle always suggests that it's always good that you actually perform this util RP step. So let's take a look at the next step. Next step is quite important. So you need to connect as the DV owner user, which is C hash hash DV owner root, and then you need to execute this command, which will help you to enable the database vault. So if you want, you can always rerun these two steps as well, just to check how it is going. So if I go back, it's all good. So if you see, there is some change. So the DV app protection is not configured, but if you see here, the database vault configuration status is now set to enabled, or it's set to true. So we have configured the database vault inside our container database, right? And if you see, the database vault is still not enabled, it's just configured. And here also, in terms of OLS configuration status, you see that it is set to true. So now we need to actually connect as the C hash hash DV owner root. So C hash hash DV owner root, and okay, we take this password. Okay, C hash hash DV underscore owner underscore root, and we enter the password. So we are connected. So we are now connected as the C hash hash DV owner, which is our database vault owner, right? Now what we need to do is we need to enable, as I showed you, we need to enable the database vault, and the command is pretty simple. So to enable database vault, you will say dbms mac adm. So there's a package that Oracle has given us, and you just simply call that package. But guys, remember, that package shouldn't be run from sysdba or as a DBA user. It has to be run from the database vault owner, or the database vault new account owner that you have created. So inside that user, we execute this, and you'll see that it is all enabled. That is good. Yeah, very important point. Oracle says that once you have configured, once you have enabled your database vault, you have to restart your database. So let's get that done. So I say connect slash sysdba. I say shut down immediate. I say startup. Okay, it's good. So once we have done that, we will again check our status. So we will check what is the status of the label security and what is the status of database vault. So when we started our video, I showed you that everything was not configured and everything was set to false, that nothing was enabled. But now what we are looking at is that the database vault status should be set to true. So the database is going down. And within a few minutes, you'll see that the database would come up, and then we will see, and then we will try and run the database vault configuration and also enabled status or not. So guys, the steps that we performed in this video were related to the container database. Very important, before you move on to your pluggable databases, you need to configure the database vault inside your container database first. Once you have created or configured the database vault inside your container database, then you can start working on your pluggable databases. In the next video, I will actually show you how you can configure database vault for your pluggable databases. Okay, so now this has come up fine. And if you see, my database vault configuration status is set to true. The database vault is enabled is true. And if you see, the OLS configuration status is set to true, and the OLS enabled status, the label security, is set to true as well. So guys, all we did in this video is we configured and we enabled Oracle Database Vault inside a 19C container database. Thanks for watching. In the next video, we shall take a look how you can work on the pluggable databases.